Yo, I'm in here like swimwear. Nah, it's in there like swimwear. My boy used to say that. Um, but yeah, you can check this portion out of the show on YouTube. Just type in SwagCat9. I'm gonna post this video up. I'm recording from my iPad. Um, just get you a vision of me. Uh, I don't got my hair cut or nothing. Don't make too much fun of me. But yeah, I'm gonna put this up on YouTube, so everybody go check that out. I'm wearing a workout shirt. But yeah, man, let's get into it. Right now it's basketball time. We got a lot of basketball going on. I know March Madness is here. Sweet 16 games start tonight, and I'm excited to see that Indiana Syracuse game. And one of the reasons I'm excited to see that is because I just feel like it's a hard game to decide who is going to win. I think it's just all right. So like I'm gonna narrow it down to you. Try to explain what I'm trying to say. Um, you go through the other games. Other games tonight. I'll give you the other games tonight. Wichita State, LaSalle. I think Wichita State is gonna win that because they're just so aggressive on defense. Arizona State, Arizona, Ohio State. I got Arizona winning that. I think their senior leaders are just too good. Uh, Syracuse, Indiana. I can go either way on that. And then Miami Marquette. Now, the other day I said you go either way with Miami Marquette, but now that I look at it, I'm going towards Miami because Marquette struggled in their last game. Um, that's why I'm going with Miami. Uh, but then you go to Syracuse and Indiana, and like Syracuse, I just like Syracuse. I mean, a lot of people don't. I talked to my dad about it, and I was telling him that I thought that Syracuse was a pretty good team, and he basically was saying that he didn't think they were that good. They don't really have. He didn't feel like they had enough star power, and uh, I think he's wrong. I think they played really good together as a team. I think they could pull the upset against Indiana. I think they're good enough to do it. Indiana, they were ranked number one team in the nation for a while. They got Zeller, who people have been saying, "Oh, he's going to go number one overall." Like he's been thought of as the best player in the nation. Um, but I don't really have faith in him as a good number one seed. Um, they lost a couple games that I think they should have won. Well, I mean that happened to all the number one seeds, especially. I was gonna say Duke, but Duke's the number two seed. Duke lost those two games to Maryland. It's losses like that. I lost faith in Indiana to go far. I lost faith in Duke to go far. And I mean that's just my reasoning behind why I feel Syracuse can pull that upset. But I mean you really don't know because Indiana is still a good team. So I'm excited to watch those games tonight. Tomorrow night you got Florida against Florida Gulf Coast, which would be a good game because, I mean, you look at that game, you say Florida's going to win, number three seed against number 15 seed, but Florida Gulf Coast is on this magical ride that, I mean, who's going to stop them right now? I like to see if Florida can do that. Um, you got Kansas, Michigan. I think that'd be a good game. I think Tim Hardaway's son is just a beast. The other point guard they have is a beast. So it'll be interesting to see if Kansas can, you know, stop that. Kansas is a good team. Don't get me wrong. Kansas is a good team. But I just really think that Michigan has the tools to pull off that upset. Um, Duke, Michigan State. Um, I like Duke because they got Ryan Kelly back. I just think they're a completely different team with him. I know a lot of the teams. I mean, a lot of the bad losses they had was without him. They still lost to Maryland with him in the tournament, but I mean, uh, with that, you can't really. I don't feel like you really can hold that against them. Um, to a T, because Duke was already in the tournament. Duke was just trying to get through the ACC tournament. Of course, they wanted to win. Everybody wants to win in the tournament, but Maryland were playing for their lives. If Maryland didn't win the tournament or get to the final game, they weren't getting into the tournament. So they played. That's how they played. They played like this could be the last game they played. So I wouldn't really hold that against Duke. To an extent. It's still a bad loss. It's still not a good look. But I think Quinn Cook is a really good point guard. I think he's one of the best point guards in the nation. I think Ryan Kelly is a really good player. And I think they play really well as a team. I think you see that with a lot of Coach K's teams. They play really well as a team. Their offense is smooth. I think they do let people in the lane a little too much. But other than that, I think Duke is a really solid team, and they should be able to get to the Elite Eight. I haven't really seen a lot of Michigan State, so I can't really say a lot about them. But Coach Izzo is one of the best coaches in the nation, and he'll have his guys ready to go. So that's going to be a good game, a 2-3 matchup there. So that'll be a good game to watch. Oregon, Louisville, I think it'll also be a good game. Louisville is probably the best team in this tournament. And Oregon, a 12 seed, isn't really a 12 seed. They had a really good record. I think they won the PAC tournament. So I see that being a pretty good game. I think Louisville will still win, but I don't think they'll just be able to dismantle Oregon. I think Oregon's going to come to play, and you'll have to watch out for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and make some predictions. I think Louisville will win the Oregon game. So Louisville to the Elite Eight. I'm going to say Michigan to the Elite Eight. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'll say Florida Gulf Coast to the Elite Eight. Duke, Wichita State. I'm going to say Syracuse in the Syracuse-Indiana game. I'm going to say Miami. Even though I like Vanderbilt and Marquette, I think they're a good team. I think Miami I think they just have their leadership is too good, and their coach Jim Larrañaga, he's a beast. So much respect for him. Seeing what he did with George Mason, and now taking this team to the Sweet 16 and possibly the Elite Eight. It's hard to bet against Miami, so I'm gonna go with them, and I'm gonna go with Arizona in that Arizona-Ohio State game. I think they have the tools to pull off the upset, and I have faith that Mark Lyons will strap Kraft up and not allow Kraft to do his thing. So yeah, that's what I'm going with in these Sweet 16 matchups. Switching over, still in basketball, but to the NBA. Big news last night: the Heat dropped the game to the Bulls, ending their winning streak at 27. Giving you my thoughts about the game. I think that Miami will always have trouble with teams that come out and they play like the Bulls. When you watch the Bulls play, they play with that attitude, like you're not going to push us around. I think a lot of teams in the league. I think when you watch LeBron play, a lot of people. They talk about people fouling LeBron, but I think a lot of times, I think guys are scared of LeBron. I think they let him do what he wants to do. So I think when you come out like the Chicago Bulls and saying, "Hey, man, it's our court," and you're not going to be able to do that. I think they came out with a chip on their shoulder. I think they came out angry. They played defense mad, and they basically said, "LeBron James, no, you're not going to be able to do that here." So, and that was without D Rose. So I think Butler played good. Jimmy Butler, who had the dunk on Chris Bosh, I think he played pretty good. I think the Heat will get past the first round, but I think after that they're going to have a tough time because they're going to have to play a team. I know the Celtics have lost a couple of games and they've fell to like number 7 or something like that. But I think if the Heat have to face the Celtics or the Bulls in the playoffs, that'll be a tough game for them. It's because the Celtics and the Bulls, I don't think they like the Heat. I think um, they resent the fact that Miami kind of got that good overnight. You know what I mean? Like how they just signed Bosh and signed Wade, and they're instantly a good team. And not Miami, Boston and Chicago, they have stars. They have Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett. Um, in Boston, Rondo's hurt, so I'm not really counting him right now. Rondo won't be able to play. And in Chicago, they got D Rose. I guess you could throw Joakim Noah in there, but they're really Boston and Chicago are more teams. They're that's a team. You're gonna have to beat that team. You're not gonna have to. You can't go into Chicago and say, all right, if we stop D Rose, then we're gonna win. You can't go into Boston and say, if we stop Paul Pierce, we're gonna win, because you got guys that can step up. You saw that when Miami played Boston. I think that was for their 23rd win. It was early 20s, but Green. I think it's Jeff Green from Georgetown. Went off like 43 points, and nobody expected that. You got guys stepping up yesterday for Chicago. Kirk Heinrich played well. You got Taj Gibson, he played well. Boozer, Jimmy Butler, Nate Robinson. You got guys that will just, they just play hard. They do really well playing their role. And I think when they see a team like Miami, it's like a lot of glitz, glamour, and fame, and just just the best team in the league. I think really good teams resent the fact that people see them as the best team in the league, and I think you have to worry about that instead of when you come to Washington. Of course, they're gonna play hard. Every team's gonna play hard when you're considered the best team in the league, but when you're actually playing a good team, then it just gets even harder. And I think Miami struggles with that. I think they struggle when they play good teams that are coming for their head, because they are the Miami Heat, and they do have LeBron James, they do have Dwayne Wade, they do have Chris Bosh. So I'm not a Miami hater. I'm not a Chris Bosh hater. I'm not a hater of the big three. I like watching LeBron. I think he's a beast. But I do think they will struggle against good teams. I think they'll beat a lot of teams from the West, though. I think there's a couple teams from the West that I think can match. Because the thing is, I don't think a lot of teams from the West are physical enough for the Heat. I like Golden State because they have a lot of shooters and they can score with anybody, but they don't really have. I don't think they really have anybody that has that that attitude. Boston and Chicago, those dudes have attitude, and if you come in the lane lollygagging, you might get hurt. So, I don't think that Golden State has a guy like that. I think the only team from the West I see beating the Heat in a 7-game series is Oklahoma City. And that's because they're just beastly right now. Westbrook, even though he shoots too much, he's still a beast. You gotta give him his credit. Kevin Durant, he's the best scorer in the league right now. You can't really argue that. Kevin Durant scores when he wants to score. Last game, he only shot 10 times, had 20 points. Serge Ibaka might be the best defensive player in the league in terms of guarding that lane. You don't want to go into the lane when you know Serge Ibaka is there. Lamb can shoot. Martin can shoot. You got a lot of people on that team can hit threes. So I think Oklahoma City is the only team I see from the West beating the Heat in a 7-game series. The Lakers, I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs. Houston, I don't think they're deep enough on the bench. The Spurs are too old. I think Golden State is too soft. So I think if the Heat get past the East, then I think they'll win another ring. But other than that, I think the biggest threat to the Heat are the Bulls and the Celtics. That's my opinion. Um, Moving on to other NBA news. John Wall laid an egg last night. He had, I think he was 3 for 18 or something like that. I mean, I don't think you could really blame him or be mad at him because they were playing a really good team in Oklahoma City, and I watched some of the highlights. I didn't watch the game; I was doing homework. But Westbrook was getting in him. I seen he got his shot blocked by Ibaka, which you can't really blame him for. So I think last night he was trying to do too much. If you're a point guard and you see that your shot isn't falling, there's no reason you should shoot 18 times. 3 for 18, it's not good. But on the other hand, I think it is good for John Wall because John Wall's biggest issue is that he doesn't have confidence in his jumper. And I think when I look at the stat line, 3 for 18, I see that he was confident enough to keep shooting. And I think that's a step in the right direction, especially since now it doesn't really matter. I mean, we're not going to make the playoffs. The Wizards are out of it. Right now we're competing for lottery balls. So I like the fact that he felt the need to shoot, or he felt comfortable to put the team, or try to put the team on his back, and I guess shoot himself out of that funk. So a lot of people are giving him a hard time, saying, "Oh, John Wall sucks. John Wall sucks." And I think it's especially hard for him because Kyrie Irving came out the very next draft, and Kyrie Irving, he was able to feel more comfortable at the NBA level a lot quicker than John Wall, and he's a star right now. So I think it's a lot harder for John Wall than it was for Kyrie Irving, and yeah, I just feel like that 3 for 18 is, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. We're not going anywhere. The Wizards were out the playoffs. We're terrible on the road, So I just think people need to back up off John Wall and let him do his thing. But yeah, we're almost out of time. What time? How much time we got? We're at 45 minutes right now. But I'm gonna play maybe 1 or 2 more songs, and I'm say my due at the end of the couple songs, and then I'm gonna get up out of here. But you are here. You're listening to but Blazing It's Radio on XFSR. I'm Swag Cat 9, TP3, Tilly. Let's get it, fam.